Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the fifth and last day of our 2022 virtual conference of Basic Education Researchers. And now, here are the video presentations from our brilliant researchers from SDO Imo City, SDO Rizal, SDO San Pablo City, SDO San Pedro City, SDO Santa Rosa City, SDO Tanawan City, and of course, SDO Tayaba City.
I'm Ivan Brian L. Indactivo, and this is my research paper entitled Smart HR, a system for meritocratic, automated, reengineered, and transparent hiring for the Department of Education, Schools Division Office of Imo City. The background and impetus of this study was born from the mandate of the Department of Education as well as the call of the Civil Service Commission to integrate human resource development programs in all ranks as well as in all line agencies and government offices. This is to institutionalize a climate of transparency and accountability, as well as to elevate the agency's maturity level from transactional to strategic human resource management. Also, the voice of the customer has been our source and reference for improving the integrity and the trust of the system, improving the quality and the turnaround time, as well as the percentage of filling up of items in our human resource. And also the demand of the time to navigate and also emerge into the new normal in terms of e-governance, automation, and digitalization of services. So the objectives of this study is to develop and test a system for hiring, recruitment, selection, and placement, and also evaluate it using standardized tools. The method of this study consists of a system development mixed methodology using Criswell's embedded research design for its research component. Also, the locale of this research is the Department of Education Schools Division Office of Imo City, and the data sources are both the respondents or the participants of the study, which are both applicants and the personnel proponents, and also the documentary evidences. This research also employed research ethics, research data collection, and research analysis. In the succeeding sections, I'll be presenting the interface of the hiring system, the results of the evaluation, and the conclusion and ways forward of the research. On the applicant side, you will see here that the system is already embedded in the website, and you can go directly to the vacancy. And once you are there, you can register online and also create your own account. Once you have your applicant registration, you have a notification or validation. You can already create your own profile, furnish all the items needed, and also we included the EEOP or the Equal Opportunity Principle component here if you have your own disabilities. Then you will already be brought to your interface or your own landing page, and you could fill up also your qualification in terms of the qualification standards of the position you're applying for. And then you could proceed in uploading your necessary documents and credentials and wait for the notifications for the update on the evaluation of your documents. And in terms of transparency, you could see here the component items and the criteria and points you garner. With regards to the results of the study, this system has been subjected to a three-pronged evaluation. First, using the ISO 9126 system evaluation standards. In all of the characteristics and indicators assessed and rated by applicants and the personnel respondents, all of the indicators were deemed agreeable in high ratings. In terms of the second component, the process evaluation, it yielded a result of a lower turnaround time, a lesser cost per hire, and a higher cost efficiency and percentage of filling up of items, and most importantly, higher compliance percentage with regard to the prime HRM indicators. On the third component, the service evaluation, it also yielded very satisfactory in terms of the assessment of the personnel and applicant and also in terms of importance, it also garnered most important in their assessment. In the qualitative user experience, both of the applicant and the personnel, they noticed and observed and also assessed the system as less stressful and very satisfactory in terms of the delivery and user interface. Lastly, in terms of the significant comparison of evaluation of the respondents in the indicators, there are no significant difference yielded except for usability, particularly understandability. The challenges and risks confronted by the researcher are as follows. And in terms of conclusion, the overall smart HR infrastructure developed yielded positive and highly appraised results predominantly consistent in both segments of participants in all the component variables measured and tested, that is, in the systems design, process components, and service perspectives. This leads to an integrated human resource system and also towards a strategic human resource. And finally, this made happen because of the concerted effort of the entire division.
Good day, everyone. I am Ma'am Judith Reyes with my co-researcher, Dr. Jasper M. Del Valle, would like to present a research titled Remedial Class Viewpoints and Expectations of Senior High School Students, Inputs to a Proposed Remedial Class Scheme. Many people, including those in the Philippines, see distance learning as a perfect solution to the challenges COVID-19 poses to education. However, according to a survey conducted by the Alliance of Concerned Teachers, 9 out of 10 Filipino children aged 10 struggle with distance learning. As a result, the Department of Education issued DepEd Order number 025, Series 2022 for the guidelines in the implementation of remedial classes. In connection, the Senior High School Department at San Pablo City Integrated High School reported 39 students who failed 1 or 2 subjects, prompting the school to implement the recent DepEd order. The presence of these students who had fallen behind in their studies prompted the researchers to conduct a study on the use of remedial and enrichment classes. The primary goal of this research is to propose a remedial class scheme based on the viewpoints and expectations of senior high school students who want to take 1 or 2 subjects. Our key literatures. The Lacroix described these struggling students as failing to meet the standards set by their teachers. In connection, Acevedo stated that struggling students require specially designed instruction and remediation that will help reteach a stream or a subject area in order for them to catch up and improve what they have learned. In order for us to gather the needed data, here is our methodology. The study utilized case study design wherein 5 senior high school students with at least 2 failed subjects for the school year 2021-2022 were proposedly chosen as participants. Several phases were considered by the researchers. Thematic analyses followed steps to extract the narrative data. In light of the ethical concerns, the PTA president and school principal drafted and approved parental consent. The significant findings, viewpoints of senior high school students towards remedial classes. First generated theme is focused lessons, since there is only 1 to 2 subjects that students are to take. It revealed that learners who are taking remedial classes can focus more on the lessons. Another generated theme is improved learnings. It showed that remedial classes allow them to recall some lesson contents of the subject. This related to what Moore said, that this also guides the learner to improve the basic skills and knowledge they acquired so far. Expectations of senior high school students towards remedial classes. Students expect to have a twice-a-week schedule, signifying that learners prefer a schedule with 2 meetings only per week. Geneva said that the amount of time should be enough for the students to actively work on tasks. Learners also expected that they would be able to pass their subject once they completed the necessary tasks. As mandated by the memorandum, the learners who receive lower than 75 must be given intervention through remediation and let them pass to be promoted in the next year level. The respondents also expect that they would be regular students once they pass remedial classes. Gonzalez said that remediation program let the students to catch up and graduate on time. The results implication is to propose class schedule included 2 hours per subject to be taken twice a week for a total of 4 hours per week. The learners who will participate in the remedial classes were identified ahead of time in order to provide them with an appropriate schedule. For all of this, these are the conclusions. Learners have positive viewpoints toward remedial classes. Learners have optimistic expectations upon the completion of remedial classes. And last, the remedial class scheme may give learners the opportunity to equally spend their summer vacation for school and personal matters. And here are the recommendations. A remedial class scheme may be implemented based on the needs and capabilities of the learners. The proposed remedial class scheme may put into evaluation and validation process to determine for further improvement. The developed remedial class scheme may be endorsed for utilization to manage the learning process. And that's the list of our references. That concludes our video presentation. Thank you and good day.
Magandang buhay! Greetings from the Division of San Pablo City. I am Michelle Kilatan Umania, Head Teacher 2 in Colonel Laro D. Dizon Memorial Integrated High School. I am sharing with you my research study entitled Financial Management in Colonel Laro D. Dizon Memorial Integrated High School. Every organization's success and failure depend on how did the managers run its financial resources. In an educational institution, the financial manager or school head played a pivotal role in decision-making for fund investments and other operating expenses. The Department of Education is the biggest bureaucracy which manages a high level of budget allocation. And to ensure accountability and transparency, the national government has implemented various public financial management reforms through different initiatives. And the Department of Education also initiated several PFM reforms, set policies and guidelines for the management of the school budget through Debit Order Number 8 Series 2018, and utilized the Transparency Board as mandated by the Public Act 9485. In this regard, the study aims to analyze the financial management of Colonel Laro de Dizon for the past years in terms of its compliance with the financial management system processes. Moreover, it tends to reveal the utilization of the school funds and teachers' knowledge about the liquidation process. The following are the mandatory concepts for the analysis of this study. According to Republic Act 9155, Chapter 1, Section Number 7, Letter E, Paragraph 3, the school head shall have the authority, responsibility, and accountability in managing all affairs of the school. Thus, the school principals are the financial manager who are responsible for the overall function of the school. However, most of the principals are facing challenges in the management of the school funds. And according to EO number 2, series 2016, which states the right of the Filipino people to access information. However, the challenges in accountability and transparency in managing school finances are still experienced by most public schools. And according to their study, De La Cruz et al. Concluded that almost of the school in Buenaventura District 2, Agusan del Norte needs of improvement regarding allocating funds. This study used a scripted qualitative approach participated by 33 teachers respondents. Teachers made tools which is a survey questionnaire which is composed of 3 scales to determine the degree of its compliance. Descriptive statistics were used to interpret the scores, and due to skeleton workforce, the number of teachers respondents were limited. Research instrument and statistical treatment of data were employed to assess the financial management system in the utilization of school funds, such as school MOOE, school canteen, ADAP school program, and PTA funds. As for the school maintenance and other operating expenses, all the indicators as to budget preparation, procurement process, disbursement, submission of financial reports, and auditing as perceived by the school head were in full compliance, whereas the teacher perception on the budget preparation and submission of report were only in partial compliance. This may imply that the 2 indicators were not fully disseminated with teachers. As for the school canteen funds, both the school head and teachers have the same perception as full compliance to both supplemental feeding program funds and faculty and students development funds. This suggests the two major funds were properly utilized, while the rest of the indicators were only in partial compliance. For the Adapt with School program funds, findings revealed that the execution of partnership plan, development of year-long plan, submission of quarterly report were in full compliance as perceived by both school head and the teacher. This implied that the coordinator was effective and efficient in handling the program. As for the PTA funds, most of indicators were in full compliance, except for the submission of financial report. This may suggest that there is delay in posting a financial report. The following recommendations are proposed based on the findings of this study. As to the school MOE utilization, it is highly recommended to improve the posting of the CDR to the Transparency Board as well as the SIP, AIP, APP made visibly available. It is recommended to conduct a seminar on financial management awareness in the school and among stakeholders. For the PTA officers, it is suggested that they need to improve the timely posting of financial report. Furthermore, it is suggested to strengthen the leadership skills of the PTA presidents. And to the government officers, it is recommended to conduct an awareness campaign about Executive Order Number 2, Series 2016.
Good day, I am Ryan R. Angeles, Teacher 3 from San Vicente Integrated High School Division of San Pablo City, Region 4A, Calabarzon. My research is entitled A Study on the Alignment of NK Results, Senior High School Strand and College Course, Basis for Career Guidance Program. This study is founded on Republic Act 10533, otherwise known as the Enhanced Basic Education Curriculum of 2013, Republic Act 11206, an act establishing a career guidance and counseling program for all secondary schools and appropriating funds thereof, Resolution number 2019-1179 of the Sangguniang Panglungsod establishing Senior High School Department at the then San Vicente National High School. And according to research findings, there is a need to align the skills, especially the textbook track, to industry demand because of the misalignment. So the key literatures for this study are Rivera 2017 and Barra 2018 as cited by Almerino in 2020, wherein they found misalignments between established learning pedagogies and expected outcomes of the Philippines K-12 curriculum guidelines. Trans in 2019 discovered a misalignment between teachers' and students' perception and the country's K-12 curriculum expectations. In 2019, Santos, on the predictive value of National Career Assessment Examination as input to policy formulation, concluded that when academic performance is high, NK results are high as well, and vice versa. Santos in 2019 on the alignment of senior high school strand in college course concluded that the respondents chose their course based on their interest in their future profession and future financial and employment matters in connection to their previous senior high school strand. This study utilized descriptive research design. 46 graduates of San Vicente Integrated High School who are currently enrolled in college were chosen purposively to be the respondents of this study. The researcher administered survey questionnaires sent via Google Form. Data collected from the questionnaires were analyzed using frequency distribution and percentage. All answers of the respondents remain private, subject to data privacy as stipulated in the Data Privacy Act of 2012. These are the pertinent findings of the study. Only 8.69% or 4 students scored high in UMS. 21.74 or 10 out of 46 participants scored high in STEM, ABM, sports, and arts and design tracks respectively. For reasons for enrolling in humanities strand at San Vicente Integrated High School, 46.65% or 21 out of 46 respondents reasoned that they were interested with humanities and they prefer courses in college which are allied in UMS, such as criminology and education. As of now, 19.57% or 9 out of 46 respondents are enrolled in courses which are allied to humanities and social sciences, which includes BS Political Science, BS Education, and BS Criminology. 69.57% or 32 out of 46 participants claim that they encounter difficulty adjusting to the college course that they are taking right now. Specifically, they have encountered in difficulty in adjusting to college. 75% of those students who encounter difficulty viewed their senior high school as not related or connected to their current college course, that their previous subjects in senior high school were irrelevant and immaterial to their preferred college courses. So, what's the implication of this? There could be a possible job and skills mismatch in the future, low academic performance, and higher dropout rate and lower completion rate. So after the study, the researcher concluded the following. There is a misalignment among the NCAI results senior high school strand and the college courses taken by the participants. Majority of the learners enrolled in UMS at San Vicente Integrated High School are not really aligned with UMS. The desired college courses of the learners are not aligned with the interest as manifested by NCAI results. The misalignment among NCAI results and senior high school strand from the participants' college courses gave rise to various difficulty encountered in adjusting to college.
Good day, everyone. The title of our research is Adherence to Test Construction Principles in the Light of BLCP, Establishing the Effectiveness of Mathematics Teacher-Made Assessment Tools in the Division of San Pablo City. Authors, Maria Filipina M. Drio, EPS1 Mathematics, Maria Victoria V. Tikis, HT2 Mathematics, both from the Division of San Pablo City. The global epidemic brought about with the COVID-19 is impacting education in unprecedented ways and has a wide range of effects on the educational system at all levels, and the regular challenges of assessing what and how students are learning have been even more complicated. Hence, training for teachers in upskilling and equipping them in the construction of the assessment tools is deemed necessary. Designing and constructing assessment tools are significant parts of evaluating and monitoring the learner's performance, particularly at this point in time of abrupt changes that happen and due to the unprecedented disruption in students' education. Thus, it must be salient to the current situation. This study was conducted in the division of San Pablo City to seek the establishment of effective teacher-made assessment tools thereunto Dep Ed Order 31 Series of 2020, which stipulated the weighted distribution of summative assessment component. The legal basis of this study are DepEd Order 12 Series of 2020, Adoption of Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan for the school year 2020-2021 in the light of COVID-19 public health emergency, and DepEd Order 31 Series of 2020, Interim Guidelines for Assessment and Grading in light of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan, and DepEd Order 8 Series of 2015, Policy Guidelines on Classroom Assessment for K-12 Basic Education. There were three research questions of this study. First, is there a significant difference in the responses of the teachers who made the assessment tools and the assessment evaluators? Next, is there a significant relationship between the learner's performance and the teacher's ratings in the adhering to the principles of constructing assessment tools? And the last, what are the issues and challenges perceived in the construction of the assessment tools according to teachers and assessment evaluators? For the methodology, this used descriptive research design, which employed mixed method approach. Purposive sampling was used to identify the respondents and its utilized Google form for data gathering. The statistical treatment were one-way ANOVA and person's moment of correlation for quantitative data, while thematic analysis was used for qualitative data. For the findings, the Figure 1 revealed the number of respondents of this study based on their position. Hence, there were 37 Teacher 1, 23 Teacher 2, 50 Teacher 3, and 13 assessment evaluators who were either MT or HT respectively, with a total of 123 respondents. figure to reveal the number of respondents based on the grade level, and there are 69 elementary teachers and 53 secondary teachers with one non-teaching personnel. Through one-way ANOVA, the table revealed that there was a significant difference between the responses of the teachers and evaluators of the assessment tools, since the F value was greater than the F critical value, and the p value, which is 1.44 times 10 to the negative 7, is less than the level of significance, which is 5%. By using the Pearson's product of moment correlation, the Pearson's correlation coefficient was zero point 0.3, which implied moderately positive correlation between the learners and the teacher's ratings in the adherence to test construction principles. Findings about the perceived issues and challenges of the teachers based on the thematic analysis. There were two themes that arose. First is difficulty in the construction, test questions based on the given MELCs, and the second one is the art of questioning based on level of difficulty. For the recommendation, first is the conduct of seminars and workshops on the art of questioning aligning to MELCs. Then mathematics teachers must broaden their vocabulary and master Erickson Bloom's taxonomy. The revision of teacher-made assessment tool is also recommended based on the index difficulty and the index of discrimination. Then math coordinators are encouraged to design innovative program or assessment planning guide, and then further research must be conducted related to assessment. Thank you very much.
Teachers Made Learner's Guide, a tool in improving the performance of Grade 5 in mathematics. Rationale. The biggest challenge for any teacher is to make each student be attentive in the class and transmit ideas effectively enough to create a lasting impression, but this challenge had been disappeared due to COVID-19, where the new normal education risen. Our school adopted modular distance learning based on the suggested modality from the survey gathered by the parents. The first school year of distance learning was very difficult to all learners, educators and parents. Poor academic performance was experienced, especially in mathematics where face-to-face classes are highly needed. The researcher believed that creating learner's guide may impact learners' understanding in the subject. Although preparing video lessons are helpful, but not all the learners have internet connections and gadgets. The researcher created an innovation to solve the problem/issues of grade 5 learners in answering tasks in mathematics. Statement of the problem. Methodology. Research design is descriptive type of research. The participants are 149 learners of grade 5. The research were utilized using survey questionnaire. Information was kept and tallied with utmost confidentiality. Here are the graphs that shows the result of the study. Most of the respondents are strongly agree on the positive impacts of learner's guide in learning mathematics during distance learning. Respondents strongly agree that the learner's guide helped them understand the lesson better. Most of the respondents strongly agree that the learner's guide give new knowledge about the topic that cannot found in the module. Respondents strongly agree that the learner's guide helped the learners in answering their summative test. Most of the respondents strongly agree that the learner's guide helped them to finish the task quickly. Respondents strongly agree that the learner's guide make the lesson in mathematics a lot easier. That, since based on the result that most of the respondents strongly agree that the learner's guide has positive effect on their studies during distance learning, this paper suggests to let teachers create more innovative works that will help each learners in different situations. 4. It may be recommended to have further studies on the effects of teachers-made learner's guide in students' learning, and future researcher may conduct a similar survey.
Pleasant day, dear panelists and fellow researchers. I am Janela Marie Corlista, Teacher 1 at San Vicente Integrated High School.
Amalu Azucena, Master Teacher 1.
I am Ms. Jennifer Gonzalez, Teacher 1.
Together, we are honored to be given the chance to present our paper entitled Parental and More Knowledgeable Others' Involvement and the Reading Comprehension of Learners.
Many high school students in San Vicente Integrated High School show inability to comprehend well, as shown in the silent reading inventory, which showed that 52.30% of the students belong to the instructional level. The result is very alarming. Only less than 50% of the school children in the Philippines can read simple text due to longest schools closure caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the United Nations Fund, or UNICEF, said in a report. Learning poverty in 2019, or before the pandemic happened, was 69.5%, according to the World Bank. Thus, the need to address the problem must be done. Here are the three key literatures. The Department of Education released DepEd Memorandum Number 48, Series of 2021, dated August 2, 2021, titled The 2021 Brigada Eskwela Implementing Guidelines. The Brigada Pagbasa, part of Brigada Eskwela, is an after-school reading program that envisions bringing together education partners and experts to help all learners read and become functionally literate. Vygotsky's Social Cultural Theory of Cognitive Development. Vygotsky's theories stress the fundamental role of social interaction in the development of cognition, as he believed strongly that community plays a central role in the process of making meaning. Vygotsky defined that more knowledgeable other as anyone who has a better understanding or higher ability level than the learner, particularly in regard to a specific task, concept, or process. The MTO is typically pictured as a teacher or elderly person. With this, MACRA, or Mentoring a Child Reading at Home, was created as a bridge to the gap between the reading progress of the students and distance learning, wherein they learn at home with their MTOs.
Quantitative research methodology was utilized in conducting the action research. This study was conducted at San Vicente Integrated High School from September to December 2021, whose participants were 40 students who were previously assessed as frustrated readers. The instrument used was composed of a standardized reading material and tool, the VCBER, or the Philippine Informal Reading Intervention, and open-ended questions regarding parental or more knowledgeable other, educational attainment, and involvement. These tools underwent in-depth validation through the School Research Committee before distribution. Figure 1 shows the parental or more knowledgeable others' educational attainment of the 40 participants at San Vicente Integrated High School. Among the MKO participants, 17 or 42.5% were high school graduates, 10 or 25% were college undergraduates, 5 or 12.5% were high school undergraduates, and 4 or 10% were college graduates and finished a vocational course. Figure 2 shows the parental or MKO educational involvement among the 40 participants at San Vicente Integrated High School. It shows that 29 or 72.5% reads with the learners for more than 1 hour but less than 2 hours. 6 or 15% reads with the learners for more than 2 hours, while 5 or 12.5% spends less than or at most 1 hour reading with the learners. The assessment revealed that among the 40 learners, the reading comprehension level of 27 or 67.5% has increased to instructional level. 8 or 20% are now under independent level, and 5 or 12.5% remained at frustration level. A Pearson correlation coefficient was computed to assess the linear relationship between the hours spent by parents or MKO's reading tests with the respondents and the latter's mean level of reading comprehension. There was a positive correlation between the two variables. A correlation coefficient of 0.76 indicates that the two assets are highly correlated. Value is equivalent to 0.0001. That means it is statistically significant.
For the implications of the study, the result of this research could provide us useful information and data for future use for the reading program of the school. Thus, in general, this action research will contribute to the maximum development of our society and in our present educational status and reading comprehension dilemma. In view of the findings of the study, the following conclusions were drawn. First, most of the parents or MKO spend more than 1 hour but less than 2 hours reading text with the respondents. Second, the average reading comprehension level of the respondents is at instructional level. And lastly, there is a significant relationship between the MKO or parental involvement and the reading comprehension of the respondents. And for the recommendation of our study, the findings of the study suggest several courses of action for the following. First, for the respondents and the parents or MKOs at home. Given that the average level of reading comprehension of learners who participated in the study are at instructional level with more than 1 hour but less than 2 hours of reading time with parents or MKOs, it can be inferred that an increase in the contact time will also significantly improve the reading comprehension level of the respondents. Hence, they are encouraged to spend more time reading texts together. Next is for the reading program coordinator and committee members. The study was conducted 3 months after the implementation of the program, which may not have significantly improved the reading comprehension level of some of the respondents. In this regard, the reading program coordinator and the committee members are suggested to conduct the action research during the third or fourth quarter period of each school year. They may also involve the other members of the community in the conduct of MACRA. Lastly, future researchers study was limited to the length of time spent by the parents or MKOs reading text to the respondents. A further study may be conducted using the variables such as parents or MKOs educational attainment, their economic status, and the type of reading material.
Good day, research lovers. I'm teacher Jason of Felix Amante Senior High School from the Division of San Pablo City. And today, I will talk about my study entitled Benefits of Project 4Es, which means enlighten, educate, engage, and extend, a research e-learning school-based platform. This pandemic and consequences of lockdowns magnify the existing research challenges and exponentially increase the problem with regards to students' research competence and capabilities. To diagnose the impact of the pandemic, there was a survey conducted in 2021 which revealed the challenges in research which the learners of Felix Amante Senior High School had. In a nutshell, the study aimed to delineate the benefits of Project 4Es to the school and the community. Furthermore, it was intended to answer the following questions. For the research methodology, it is descriptive correlational because it focused on respondents' perception about the effects or benefits of Project 4Es and their association. I have 400 grade 11 and 12 students, 10 research teachers, 100 parents, and 16 community members in this study. I use non-probability sampling, purposed sampling to be specific. I consider the level of participation and completeness of exposure of the respondents towards the program for their inclusion. This is to make sure that the reliability of their feedback will be maximized and secured. The graph shows the challenges of learners in research prior to the implementation of Project 4Es. Based on the computed grand-weighted mean, which is 4.51, Project 4Es is extremely effective based on the perception of the learners themselves, teachers, and parents in terms of learning acquisition, learning supplement and intervention, skill development, parental involvement, and community empowerment. As indicated, the community member participants considered it extremely effective and beneficial in terms of empowering the community with a total weighted mean of 4.61. The table above justifies that Project 4E significantly and positively affects the learner's acquisition of learning. It strengthens the claim that Project 4E indeed serves as a learning supplement and intervention program to students. That result validates the claim that Project 4E significantly develops the skills of students. Since the p-value is less than the significance level, the null hypothesis is rejected. That only means that Project 4E significantly increases the parents' involvement as the learners indulge in research. It only insinuates that Project 4E really empowers the community. These are the conclusions. Project 4E significantly and positively affects the learner's acquisition of learning. It serves as a learning supplement and intervention program to students. It significantly develops the skills of students. It significantly increases the parents' involvement as the learners engage in research, and it empowers the community. As for the recommendation, since the study revealed that Project 4E is beneficial and effective, teachers are encouraged to continuously implement it and can be used as a pattern by other teachers across other disciplines. It is also suggested to add more digital activities such as teacher-made video lesson to maximize its learning boosting mechanism. For the future researchers, the researchers suggest that a similar study may be conducted in other types of school setting. And for our references, as for the implementation, allow me to share with you Project 4Es of Felix Amantes Senior High School. Let's all watch this.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design.
COVID-19 pandemic has brought extraordinary challenges and has affected almost all sectors in the human race. One of the most affected is the educational sector, not only in the Philippines but all over the world. The rapid increase in suspected cases and mortality rate prompted the government to implement a lockdown policy that restricted mobility. Public infrastructures, including educational institutions, were temporarily closed, affecting 28 million learners in the Philippines. In order to sustain and provide quality education to our learners, despite lockdown and community quarantine, the Department of Education adapted to the new normal education policy and introduced various learning delivery modalities, which include modular distance learning, or MDL. MDL uses self-learning modules whether in digital or printed format. MDL limits the teacher-learner interaction, resulting in low academic performance of pupils. There are challenges and difficulties encountered by our grade 6 pupils in learning the competencies in science, such as they do not know how to answer the task in the module, and that they do not have someone to guide them in answering and doing the performance tasks, and some of the parents have no knowledge about the topics. These issues raised awareness to the researcher to develop strategies and action plans to address the needs of the pupils in learning the competencies in science. This research entitled Improve Academic Performance of Grade 6 Pupils in Science of San Lucas 1 Elementary School through Modulator in the New Normal aim to improve the academic performance of grade 6 pupils in science through Modulator. Modulators are volunteers who can be parents, guardians, relatives, or acquaintances of the learners. They are the ones who go to school to receive the distributed modules. They also receive a one-on-one session with the teacher and relay information and instructions for clarification of the activities or performance tasks to be submitted. They will serve as the tutors or teacher figures of the learners in their respective places. They are also the ones who will submit the accomplished activities along with their reports about how the learners performed the tasks. A qualitative approach was considered to undertake this research as it will let greater capacity to generate more depth and meaning based on the experiences of pupils in the Modulator Action Plan. A quantitative approach was also chosen as the research method for this study, as it will allow the impact of the action taken on the academic performance in science of pupils to be measured. The research adhered with the principles of research ethics, namely consent, confidentiality, competence, beneficence, and risks and benefits. The results of this study showed that the learners had progressed in science. The respondents revealed that this study was very necessary and very helpful for the new normal education. They gave a very satisfactory rating in the implementation of Modulator as it greatly affects the improvement of the teaching-learning process for the new normal. And it would be useful to conduct parallel studies to improve academic performance in other subject areas. This is Teacher Cheryl Sikat, a science teacher at San Lucas 1 Elementary School, Lakeside District, Division of San Pablo City. Thank you.
Inquiry-based learning and performance of grade 4 pupils in mathematics. I am Christopher A. Platero, Principal 1 of Platon Elementary School, the lead proponent, and Mrs. J.D.B. Sarasa, Teacher 2, my co-proponent. Educators are confronted with the quality of teaching and learning in different subjects, especially in mathematics, as one of the major challenges and concerns of today's generation. Teachers need to do ways to alleviate problems related to the quality of teaching and learning mathematics. It is indeed a great challenge for mathematics teachers to find ways or strategies to improve students' performance resulted from poor foundation on basic knowledge, inappropriate learning habits of students, and parental intervention through changing their attitude toward the subject. Inquiry-based learning is defined as teaching method that engage students in sense-making activities. Students are given tasks requiring them to solve problems, conjecture, experiment, explore, create, and communicate. All those functional skills and habits of minds that mathematicians are engaged in regularly. IBL is the modified Moore method named after R.L. Moore, inquiry-based learning.org. 2018. Like the old adage states, tell me and I forget, show me and I remember, involve me and I understand. Inquiry-based teaching is not so much about seeking the right answer, but about developing inquiring minds. The methods used is mixed methods research, concurrent triangulation. Mixed methods research is a methodology for conducting research that involves collecting, analyzing, and integrating quantitative and qualitative research. The statistical tool used by the researcher was the paired sample t-test, Pearson correlation R, and Likert scale. Paired sample t-test is a statistical tool that is used to compare two population means or in before studies. The findings. The mean for the pre-test is 9.83, while the post-test is 18.54. The t-value is 28.77, and the p-value is less than 0.0001. The level of significance used is 0.05. Since the p-value is less than 0.05, there is a significant difference between the pre-test and post-test scores of the students. We can conclude that the use of inquiry-based learning is effective in terms of students' performance. Pupils' perception and the use of inquiry-based learning approach. I have 7 statements. 15 of them are positive and 2 is negative. The first 2 of the positive statement is first, the visual aids such as manipulative pictures, PowerPoint presentation helps a lot in inquiry-based teaching approach. It got 3.65, strongly agree. The second one is inquiry-based teaching encouraged my participation in math class. It got 3.31, strongly agree. And one negative statement is inquiry-based teaching increases my anxiety level in mathematics class, 2.21, disagree. Overall, pupils strongly agree that inquiry-based learning approaches enhance their interactions, confidence, and participations to discussion and activities. They agree that they were motivated to learn and gain deeper understanding when inquiry-based learning approach were used in teaching. Correlation between the increase on the respondents' post-test scores and respondents' average scores on positive perception about inquiry-based learning approach. Student increase on post-test scores, the mean is 8.71. Students' mean score on positive perception about IBL is 3.22. The Pearson correlation R is 0.9011. Table shows the correlation coefficient R is 0.9011, which is very close to positive 1. Therefore, we can conclude that there's indeed a strong positive relationship between the increase on the respondents' post-test scores and the respondents' average scores on positive perception on inquiry-based learning approach. The positive perception of students on inquiry-based learning increases, their performance in mathematics also increases.
Good day, everyone. I am Donna Karen C. Pagkaliwangan, teacher from Guadalupe Elementary School, SDO San Pablo City. My research title is about Staffing Plan for Ancillary Functions of Teachers in Ambray District, Division of San Pablo City. And for the introduction, according to the Magna Carta for Public School Teachers, DepEd Memorandum Number 291, Series 2008, requires every public school teacher to work a normal full-time teaching schedule and to commit a maximum of 6 hours of actual classroom instruction per day. Most of the teachers in public schools do not just play the roles of class-related duties. They are also responsible for carrying out a variety of academic or ancillary duties. And for the objectives of the study, first, what are the profile of the school in terms of years in service, number of years in the present position, educational attainment, number of teachers in school, and number of assigned ancillary load. Second, when schools are grouped into profile, what is the significant difference in assigning the ancillary load? And third, what staffing plan can be made in giving ancillary functions of teachers in Ambray District? And for the methods of the study, the researcher used descriptive correlational method, random sampling, and 123 teacher respondents from Ambray District. And for the data collection, the researcher forwarded a letter approval to the school's division superintendent, district supervisor, and school principal. Researcher-made questionnaire was sent through online. And for the result in question number 1, most of the respondents are in Teacher 1 position, 10 years and below in service, masteral graduate, included in medium school, and has 2 ancillary load. And for question number 2, there is a significant difference in years in service, present position, and assigned ancillary of the teachers. And for question number 3, the table shows the proposed staffing plan in Ambray District Division of San Pablo City. And for the conclusion and recommendation, first, the school should revisit the school personnel assignment list and basic profile, School Form 7 of the teachers. Second, the school should create an organizational chart so that the school can be effective in providing a quality education to their students as well as the community. And last, provide trainings and seminars for the teachers regarding the different ancillaries of the school. These are my references used in my study. Thank you and stay safe.
Good day, everyone. I am Jenner G. Angusto, junior high school teacher of San Vicente Integrated High School from the Schools Division of San Pablo City. Today, allow me to share with you my study titled Assessment and Reflective Teaching Practices for Araling Panlipunan in a Public Secondary School Basis for a Reflective Guide for Teaching and Learning. Here are the reasons that prompted the researcher to conduct the study. First, Araling Panlipunan in Basic Education is a social discipline which focuses on current events, humanities, and history. It aims to improve a socially adjusted individual in terms of spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and cultural development. In this context, the Department of Education states a clear-cut goal of the output of Araling Panlipunan on its core values of love of God, love for countrymen, love for nature, and love for country. Third, the analysis of the mean percentage scores from the past 3 school years revealed that Araling Panlipunan fall under the division target of 80% mean percentage score. Placed in this learning situation, there is a need on the enrichment of the learning material with focus on the integration and intensification of reflective practice in Araling Panlipunan. For the key literature, the study is grounded on the following related studies. Frank 2016 in his study reiterated that exemplary learners are reflective learners who can prescribe their ideas, beliefs, and values about learning, and learners develop a purposeful, systematic inquiry into their personal theories about learning. Second, Mac Gilchrist of 2017 confirms that the reflective practice expands a learner's self-awareness, brings rigor to critical thinking, and hones communication skills. And indeed, the framework of reflective thinking and learning attests a comprehensive personality development framework in the hands of those who believe that a child, a learner, shall lead them. Having said that, here is the statement of the problem or the research questions. First, what is the assessment of the teachers on the existing module in Araling Panlipunan in terms of the following domains: affective, cognitive, and psychomotor? Second, what approaches are used by the teachers in teaching Araling Panlipunan? Third, based on the findings, what instructional guide can be developed? And lastly, what is the acceptability of the developed reflective thinking learning guide for Araling Panlipunan as evaluated by the experts based on the following criteria: outcomes-based learning, learning contents, learning activities, and assessment of student learning. The research methodology are as follows. For the research design, this study employed a descriptive method. For the respondents of the study were 30 teachers handling Araling Panlipunan subjects and 10 teacher experts who were Teacher 3 master teachers and head teachers of Araling Panlipunan. For the research procedure, the distribution of the validated researcher-made questionnaire. After the distribution, the collection of the accomplished questionnaire, and the analysis of data. For data analysis, weighted mean and simple percentage were utilized. And here are the research findings. The general weighted mean of 3.85 frequent clearly points out the need to review the learning contents of the existing module for enrichment as well as enhancement of the learning outcomes in meeting the desired end of social studies. Second, guided by the existing module, the teacher used various teaching pedagogies. Third, a general weighted mean of 4.63, highly acceptable, on a developed reflective thinking learning guide was pronounced by the experts. And for the conclusions, first, there is the need for the reinforcement of the 6 C's of the 21st century learning, such as connectivity, creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, and culture. Second, the use of pedagogical approaches in teaching Araling Panlipunan are teachers' instructions in sense making, which upholds blended learning from life skills to social skills. And lastly, this is a major step in preparation of the Generation Z for global trends and internalization to join the workforce. For the recommendation, with this, the developed learning guide for reflective learning in Araling Panlipunan may be adopted. Second, in addition, the imposition of continuing quality improvement and continuing professional development among professional practitioners. Third, lead learners to indulge in reflective thinking and learning. Guide through substitution of active learning projects and experiences, simulations and community immersions, and usage of self-paced and cooperative learning. With that, thank you very much for listening, and allow me to end this presentation with a quotation by Aristotle: educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Thank you very much.
Good day, everyone. We are here to present the study entitled Implementation of SAS Maths as Tool for Monitoring and Assessing Learners' Performance. I am Sir Jason, together with Ma'am Larnie and Ma'am Angeli from San Pablo City Integrated High School. Classroom assessment plays a vital role not only in tracking and evaluating learners' performance and progress, but as well as giving feedbacks to come up with interventions. Moreover, it informs learners as well as their parents and guardians of their progress. COVID-19 pandemic brought a challenge on education, most particularly on assessing learners' performance and progress. Checking of assessments and analyzing the results have been a tasky job in the part of the teachers for a long period of time, especially during pandemic. Anchored with DepEd Order Number 8, Series of 2015, or Policy Guidelines on Classroom Assessment for the K-12 Basic Education Program, and in DepEd Order Number 12, Series of 2020, or Adoption of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan for School Year 2020-2021, in light of the COVID-19 public health emergency. To reduce the time in checking and analyzing the result of classroom assessments, and to further provide health protection in handling the learners' outputs, such as long tests, the researchers came up with the idea of scannable answer sheet and mobile app test scanner. The researchers tested and determined the effect of implementing SAS and maths in monitoring and assessing the learner's performance. Specifically, this study focused on the learner's perception about SAS and teachers' perception about maths.
It utilized descriptive research wherein validated survey questionnaires were given to the respondents to determine their perception and the implementation of SAS math. Four summative tests, evaluated and validated by the master teachers and mathematics department coordinator, were also given during the period of study. This study was conducted from February to April 2022, in which convenient sampling technique were administered since 224 out of 917, or 24.43% of grade 9 MDL students returned the questionnaire on time, and 5 teachers were also surveyed. To ensure the actual and accurate results of the study, the researchers monitored and evaluated the number of paper retrieved and checked using the scannable answer sheets, as shown in the graph. Overall, more or less, 81% of the 4 long tests were returned on time. Returned scannable answer sheets were tallied and class percentage were computed. Mean perceptions of the respondents about the effect of implementing SAS and maths in monitoring and assessing the learner's performance were computed and interpreted using Likert scale. This will incorporate scannable answer sheet and mobile app test scanner as a tool in monitoring and assessing learners' performance. This can help the learners familiarize with the SAS and help teachers to understand, use, and navigate the maths that will give fast and accurate feedback with regards to learners' performance.
Overall, students have positive perception about SAS with 4.43 mean score. The teachers who used the maths were able to check the long test faster in comparison to manual checking, and it gave an immediate score results and simple analysis of the data needed in school reports. Overall, SAS is easy and enjoyable to use in presenting the answers, and an effective way to gather data. Maths were able to check the test faster. It gave an immediate score results regarding the learner's performance and simple analysis of the data needed in school reports. The implementation of the use of SAS and maths in monitoring and assessing learners' performance is highly suggested. This study also recommends to future researchers to conduct further studies about the use of scannable answer sheet and mobile app test scanner.
Good day, everyone. Greetings from San Pablo City Integrated High School, Division of San Pablo. Today, we will share with you our research entitled Basa Saya, Bringing Available Stakeholders to Act and Support Activities for Young Learners' Advancement in Reading, and the performance of grade 7 students in secondary reading inventory. I am Ma'am John A. Andas, and together with me are my co-proponents, Ma'am Vivian B. Alamag and Ma'am Ada Grace P. Sava.
Rationale. Reading is a process that involves understanding beyond what is written. Despite efforts to exterminate reading problems, an alarming number of non-readers still exist. This study determined the effectiveness of the reading intervention Basa Saya on the performance of the grade 7 students in their secondary reading inventory. The results of this study were utilized by the English teachers in San Pablo City Integrated High School. The results will be used as the basis for enhancing or modifying the reading intervention Basa Saya. To address the problem, One of the recommendations of UNICEF is to strengthen collaboration and engagement with education, stakeholders, parents, and community leaders to support the educational needs of learners. For the methodology, t-test was used to determine if there was a significant difference between the pre-test and the post-test scores of the students. The study used purposive sampling. The selection was made based on the convenience of the researchers, which pertained to the researchers' handled students for the indicated school year.
And for the findings of our study, the table shows the mean and standard deviation of the respondents' scores in the secondary reading inventory or SRI, pre-test and post-test. The students had a mean score of 2.405 and a standard deviation of 1.037 during the administration of the SRI pretest, while a mean score of 5.476 and a standard deviation of 2.405 was achieved by the respondents during the SRI post-test. There is a significant improvement from a pretest score of 2.405 to a post-test score of 5.476. The result shows a substantial development among the participants in the Basa Saya program. The continuance of the program can be considered. Here are our conclusions. The Basa Saya program at San Pablo City Integrated High School is a significant help in raising pupils' reading proficiency over time. The SPCIHS students' performance in the concluded Basa Saya reading program provides stakeholders with an accurate number of those who can and cannot comprehend according to their grade level. The completion of the study prompted the researchers to continue the implementation of Basa Saya. This also allows the school and the external stakeholders to plan an upgrade of the reading intervention to make it more comprehensive and further address other reading issues that may arise in the future.
Good day, everyone. I am Ms. Jessica Sigastala from San Vicente Integrated High School in SDO San Pablo City, and I'm going to present to you my study, Integration of Cultural Icons of San Pablo City on the development of a culture-based lesson exemplar for Araling Panlipunan 10. Okay, so what prompted the researcher to conduct the study? So in general, culture-based education is an instrument or is a tool that can help in preserving our culture. So preservation of culture is one is included in our mission in the Department of Education, and also in the Philippine Constitution, we are encouraged, or every educational institution are encouraged to inculcate patriotism and nationalism in the teaching learning process. So for the research questions, generally, this study aimed to develop a culture-based lesson exemplar for Araling Panlipunan Grade 10 that will utilize local cultural icons of San Pablo City, and it specifically sought to achieve the following objectives: to describe the local history of San Pablo City, to identify the local cultural icons of San Pablo City, and to develop a culture-based lesson exemplar for Araling Panlipunan in Grade 10. For the key literatures, I've included here some references that will support why there is a need for us to be equipped with the knowledge in developing a culture-based lesson exemplar, and why there is a need for us to preserve our culture. So for the research design, it used the developmental research since it aimed to develop an instructional material, which is the culture-based lesson exemplar. For the research instrument and data collection, the following were used to collect data and information about local icons. So there we have the cultural inventory, interviews, and the documentary research. So in analyzing the data gathered through the cultural inventory form was treated as primary data, and to support the gathered local cultural icons, or the identified cultural icons, documentary research, interviews, and physical investigation was also done. Okay, so let's go through the results and discussion. So the history of San Pablo is greatly influenced by the colonizers of the Philippines. Its history shows that it has gone through religious, social, economic, political, and cultural changes over the years. Okay, so through the cultural inventory, here are the identified local cultural icons of the city. So the personalities, there are groups and organization, landmarks and places, industries and events. Okay, so these icons contributed a lot in shaping the culture and history of San Pablo City. Okay, and so lastly, the development of the culture-based lesson exemplar for Araling Panlipunan 10 is viewed by teachers as a useful teaching learning material. So teachers also view that using a localized lesson exemplar allows teachers to navigate on different teaching approaches without leaving the context of locality. So with the interviews done with teachers handling Araling Panlipunan 10, they viewed using localized materials as a supplementary tool in the teaching learning process. So based on the gathered data, here are the conclusions. So the events and milestones during the colonization period helped in shaping the local history and culture of San Pablo. The identified local cultural icons has distinct significance in the history and culture of San Pablo that made them recognized by the San Pableños, and the developed culture-based lesson exemplar through the integration of the local cultural icons serves as supplementary materials for teachers to further inculcate the local culture and history of San Pablo City among learners.
Masayang buhay. I am Mr. John Roldan Calalo Dimano of San Pablo City Integrated High School, together with my co-proponent, Dr. Julia Fedi Panay. I am here to present our research study entitled Exploring the Role of Science Engagement and Student-Teacher Interaction in Acquiring 21st Century Skills of Grade 7 Online Distance Learners. Dealing with the study, the researchers found out several issues confronting online learners. First, in terms of online distance learning, students tend to complete the class at a lower rate. Second, online engagement might be more unclear than face-to-face settings. Third, interaction in ODL is not always achievable. The abrupt shift in education from traditional study to distance education has placed students at a significant disadvantage. It has been acknowledged that most institutions' shift to a new normal education paradigm has not been adequately organized. According to Association for Learning Technology 2012, meaningful learning may be supported if one of three types of interaction, student content, student teacher, and student to student, is present at a high degree. To educate young people for citizenship and global workforce, educators must supplement these disciplines with 21st century skills. And last, successful use of e-learning ICT resources is an excellent strategy for boosting students' overall academic success during their study. These are the methods and procedures used in the conduct of the study. The study is quantitative in nature. This study aimed to look into the link between online science engagement and learning interaction in obtaining 21st century skills and improving the science achievement of grade 7 online learners in San Pablo City Integrated High School. The study included 75 grade 7 online students coming from 4 sections of San Pablo City Integrated High School during the school year 2021-2022. The respondents of the study were selected using random sampling. The researcher adapted 2 survey questionnaires on science engagement and learning interaction. In addition, the researcher crafted a 45-item achievement test covering 5 learning competencies in Science 7 during the third quarter period. Frequency distribution and percent count were used to describe the profile of the respondents. Mean and standard deviation were used to describe the respondents' perceptions, level of acquired skills, and achievement scores. Pearson correlation was used to test the relationship between the variables, and adjacent analysis was used to determine the extent of learning interactions, the mediating effect of the relationship between science engagement and science achievement. It is found in Table 1 that students are more interactive in science in their behavior than in other science engagement dimensions. However, data demonstrate that affective emotional engagement had the lowest mean score of 4.02. According to Table 2, the student-teacher dimension got a high mean score based on the student's perceptions. Regarding critical thinking skills, the respondents displayed 46.7% of the achievement test score under the advanced level, and only 4% achieved the beginning level. In terms of creativity skills, 80% or 60 out of 75 respondents exhibited achievement test results at advanced level, as opposed to just 5.3% and 1.3% for the beginning and developing levels, respectively. Most grade 7 online learners develop communication skills, as demonstrated by the data from their achievement test shown in Table number 3. According to the findings in Table 4, it is conceivable to assume that the 7th grade students who took their science class online achieve a level of competence that range from proficient to advanced based on how well students perform on the competency-based achievement test. Table 5 shows that the perceived online science engagement had no significant relationship to the acquired 21st century skills and science achievement of the respondents. However, there's a significant relationship between the 21st century skills, communication, and the achievement of the students in science when it comes to the interaction between students and teachers. Results reveal in Table number 6 that the only student-teacher interaction component has a significant mediating effect on the relationship between science engagement and science achievement. Student-teacher interaction mediates the relationship between science engagement and science achievement. As such, the student-teacher interaction was added, it influences the science engagement to improve science achievement. An established relationship between students and teachers is highly needed due to restricted opportunities for face-to-face interactions presented by online learning. Most grade 7 learners interact well utilizing digital media as they were capable of analyzing, problem solving, organizing, and illustrating fresh ideas. Teacher quality, student expectations, rapid feedback, and effective course design are all greatly impact students' online learning experiences and achievement. And the competence of teachers is a reliable predictor of the level of students' engagement, and they are held accountable for the level of academic involvement that their students demonstrate. For our conclusion, there is no significant relationship between the respondents' perception of online science engagement and acquisition of 21st century skills. However, there's a significant relationship between student-teacher learning interaction to their acquired 21st century skills, communication. Second, there's no significant relationship between the respondents' perception of online science engagement to their science achievement. Nevertheless, there is a significant relationship between the learning interaction, student-teacher, to their science achievement. Based on the study's findings and conclusions, the following are suggested. Schools must invest in developing online learning environments that improve learning and teaching outcomes, all while promoting the development of strong knowledge and expertise in science and 21st century skills. The large-scale collection of online student engagement and learning interaction data can give administrators with new and up-to-date learning environment data sources to drive school-wide activity. Here are the references used in the study. Again, this is Mr. John Roldan C. Dimaano from San Pablo City Integrated High School. Thank you for listening and stay blessed, everyone.
Good day to everyone. I am Rolito Asambra, Teacher 1 from San Jose Integrated High School, Division of San Pablo City. And I am about to present my research paper titled As a Mathematics-Based Lecture Capture in Combinatorics, a localized supplement for student self-learning towards critical thinking and cultural heritage awareness. On March 16, 2020, the Department of Education stopped face-to-face classes in private and public schools, which was earlier than planned due to the implemented community quarantine. And to continue the education of the learners in spite of the pandemic, the DepEd introduced the distance learning modalities, particularly online distance learning and modular distance learning. Though students of mathematics are provided with self-learning modules, it would not be enough for them to learn the concepts and processes in the subject. That is why a supplemental material is needed to enable them understand and grasp the information from the given text. According to Imswatama and Lokman in 2018, the use of mathematics teaching material based on essay mathematics is more beneficial to students' critical thinking than when it is not. In using teaching materials integrated with essay mathematics, students' interest level increases in both mathematics learning and acknowledging their culture. And in conducting this study, descriptive method was used because I would like to describe the effectiveness of the material to learning of students through validation. In addition, research and development or R&D design was used to create the localized lecture capture. And to ensure that the material undergone thorough process, ADI model was followed, which stands for analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. And to identify the student respondents in the study, simple random sampling was used to answer the survey questionnaire. And only 5 students were asked in the interview who were chosen through purposive sampling. And based on the results of this study, here are the findings. First, the students can always apply critical thinking in solving mathematical problems after using the localized lecture capture as supplemental material to their self-learning module. Second is that the students strongly agreed that the localized lecture capture are valid in terms of content, design, pedagogy, and practicability as supplemental material to their self-learning modules. Third is that in general, the student's perception on the use of the localized lecture capture towards critical thinking has positive degree of relationship with the content, design, and practicability validity of the material. Furthermore, the student's perception on the use of the localized lecture capture towards cultural heritage awareness has also positive degree of relationship with majority of aspects of validity of the material. And for the implications, this study supported the importance of localizing mathematics lessons by applying as a mathematics approach. It helps students in studying the math lessons in modular distance learning, and it strengthens the connection between teachers and students despite of restricted face-to-face instruction. And for the conclusion, the localized lecture capture is effective as supplemental learning material. Second, design, pedagogy, and practicability must also be validated. Third, there is a significant relationship between the critical thinking, the cultural heritage awareness, and the validation of the material. And lastly, there are information about the lecture capture which need to be improved that are seen by students and not by the experts, particularly in the content part. And based on the findings and the conclusions in the study, here are my recommendations. First, teachers may consider using localized lecture capture as supplemental material to self-learning modules in modular distance teaching and learning. Second, students may be encouraged to further improve their critical thinking skills and cultural heritage awareness to a higher level of attainment through the use of this material. Third, teacher may consider using the critical thinking questions utilized in the lecture capture in other mathematics content areas. And lastly, preparation and creating localized lecture capture must include validation from other learning media experts and subject matter experts to strengthen the validity of the material. And here are my references. Thank you and good day.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. It is with pride and honor that I, Ma'am Michelle Banca, and my co-author, Ma'am Maria Monica Angeles, present to you our research study for this school year 2022-2023. This is the idea of Project MAL, which is the modified assessment of learning through differentiation. So Project MALT is a proposed school-based differentiated assessment system in Santissimo Rosario Integrated High School. Initially, MALT targets the 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world, which is a language subject in senior high school, as the focal area of testing the study. Since it's a core subject in senior high school English, and the competencies offer a wide variety of skills. So the researchers believe that the subject can be a good pilot area for a differentiated assessment implementation.
The researchers applied descriptive experimental as its research method. Since the target subject area of the study, 21st century literature, was being offered only for grade 11 TVL students during the second semester of the school year, the said 89 students automatically became the respondents of the study. The assessment tools used are researcher-made to cater the needs of the target students. Written assessment was prepared as the baseline of the student scores. Afterwards, differentiated assessment tools were prepared in terms of the identified learning preferences. The assessment tools underwent expert validation to assure its validity and reliability before the implementation among the target students.
Through this, we were able to identify the 5 learner types that were actually evident among our students. So the first one is we have the visual, which is assessed through a PowerPoint presentation. The second one is the visual linguistic, which is assessed through a tag cloud. Then next to that is linguistic, which is assessed through a text-to-la. The next one is we have the audio-visual, which is also assessed through a 3-minute video. And the social, and the assessment that we use for this is through blogs. Table 2 shows the written and differentiated scores for visual learners using the PowerPoint presentation. This means that there is a significant difference between written assessment and differentiated assessment using MALT. Table 3 shows the written and differentiated scores for visual linguistic learners using Tag Cloud. So this means that there is a significant difference between written assessment and differentiated assessment using MALT. In Table 4, it shows the written and differentiated assessment scores for linguistic learners, this time using text-to-la. So this means that there is a significant difference between written assessment and differentiated assessment using mold. Table 5 shows the written and differentiated assessment scores for audio visual learners using a 3-minute video. So this means that there is a significant difference between written assessment and differentiated assessment using mold. Table 6 shows the written and differentiated scores for social learners, this time using blog. This means that there is a significant difference between written assessment and differentiated assessment using mold.
The results can be used as basis of the ESL teachers on how to connect the students with different learning styles, making teaching more likely to resonate with each one of the students. The study also proved that differentiated instruction motivates them to learn the material in a way conducive to their own interests and unique learning styles. The study can be also used as evidence in giving students choices about how they learn, which enables them to meet the learning objectives in the best way for them.
We were able to formulate the following conclusions. First, the learning preference profile: visual learners, visual linguistic learners, audiovisual learners, and social learners. The differentiated assessment or MAL used based on learning preferences were PowerPoint presentation, Tag Cloud, Text-to-La, 3-minute video, and blogs, respectively.
Great day, research enthusiasts. I have the honor to present to the body our study with the title Interactive Partnership Manual or IPAMA in Strengthening School Stakeholders Linkages in the Paradigm Shift of Curriculum Implementation with my co-pilot, Sir John Ray R. Vicente and Christian James A. Sacramento. Everyone knows that education serves as an anchor in stabilizing one's identity and build not just oneself, but the community and the world as a whole. As hurdles usually goes along with development, pandemic seems to serve as a huge obstacle. In spite of such hindrances, nothing can beat the power of having unity in targeting one's objective, especially through partnership where everyone aims for a certain purpose. With all the considerations mentioned, Interactive Partnership Manual or IPAMA in strengthening school stakeholders linkages in the paradigm shift of curriculum implementation comes into existence. Results and discussion. The development of the Interactive Partnership Manual. General appearance and organization with a mean 4.44 and verbal interpretation highly acceptable. Content with a mean 4.48 and verbal interpretation of highly acceptable. Function with a mean 4.42 and verbal interpretation highly acceptable. And the last goals alignment with a mean 4.70 also highly acceptable. For internal stakeholders, minimize the complexity of the IPAMA and additional interactive widget activity. For ICT experts, creating a hyperlink graphic icon for additional sources and ensure the compatibility of the interactive manual. For the external stakeholders, include an optional language translation and conduct training on how to use IPAMA. Potential contributions of the Interactive Partnership Manual. For the conclusions, the unabated COVID-19 pandemic has generated an unprecedented crisis in the education systems across the world. While all the stakeholders in education, from government to leaders to teachers, students, and parents, are struggling to find strategies to contain the damage, it is apparent that any successful policy will need to be built on partnership among them. The collaboration between educators and parents is the foundation of the education system in the new normal, as they are the first point of contact for students for all the educational needs. All the stakeholders should come together to support this partnership to ensure that children receive education seamlessly in the times of the pandemic. The following recommendations were made from the study. With that, thank you.
Good day to all. This is Ma'am Joy M. Avellino, Research Presenter from Schools Division Office of Rizal Province. So this study is an evaluation of the special program in journalism of Casimiro A. Inares Senior Memorial National High School. Special Program in Journalism, or SPJ, is anchored in the DepEd Order number 46, series of 2012, that explicitly mentions the need to offer special curricular programs in various schools. So as far as special program in journalism is concerned, the three pioneering schools or implementers in the division or in Region 4A Calabarzon are number one, Cavite, the Tanzan National Comprehensive High School, Quezon National High School in Quezon, and in Division of Rizal, we have Casimiro Inares Senior Memorial National High School. Since SPJ has not undergone any form of evaluation yet, the researcher, who happens to be a journalism teacher and an advocate as well of the said school, conducted a study to evaluate the SPJ. This study was conducted in Casimiro A. Inares Senior Memorial National High School, as it is the only school in the division of Rizal that offers the special program in journalism. So the participants of this research were the faculty members and the students under the said program. So this study is anchored to Steinmetz Discrepancy Evaluation Model, or DEM, which is explained by the concepts of evaluation standards, performance, and discrepancy information. So the main objective of this research is to evaluate the SPJ implementation of Casimiro A. Inares Senior Memorial National High School using the Steinmetz Discrepancy Evaluation Model, or DEM. And specifically, it sought to answer the following questions. Number one, what's a teacher's profile in terms of length of service and campus journalism related seminars and trainings they have attended? Number two, what's the student's profile in terms of year level and academic performance? Third question is, what is the level of standard as rated by the faculty respondents in terms of objectives, curriculum, instructional materials, physical facilities or equipment, teaching strategies, administrators' support, teachers' competence, and students' engagement. Fourth is the same aspects as rated by the student respondents. And then number five, is there a significant difference between the level of standard and the level of performance of the SPJ as rated by the two sets of respondents? Lastly, what action plan can be proposed based on the results of this research? So this study utilized descriptive evaluative design. For the research instrument, this study used a researcher-made questionnaire which undergone content validation from experts in the campus journalism field, including the education program supervisor in charge of campus journalism from the CID of the Schools Division Office of Rizal. For the statistical treatment, frequency, percentage, and rank were used to determine the profile of the respondents. And then weighted mean was used to determine the level of standard and level of performance as rated by both set of respondents. And then to determine if there is a significant difference on the responses of the respondents in terms of the given variables, F-test or ANOVA was used. So here are the summary of findings, conclusions, and recommendations. This is the profile of the faculty respondents, profile of the student respondents. So the table shows the level of standard of the SPJ implementation as rated by the faculty respondents. It has a grand weighted mean of 3.85 with a verbal interpretation of very good.
Isang magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Kabisaan ng paggamit ng strategic intervention material sa pagtuturo ng gamit ng pandiwa sa mga mag-aaral sa baitang 10 ng mga piling paaralan sa distrito ng Rodriguez sa taong panuruan 2021-2022. Ako po si Jubilante Javier, ang gurong mananaliksik mula sa lalawigan ng Rizal. Malaking hamon sa mga guro na matiyak na may pagkatutong naganap sa mga mag-aaral ngayong ipinatutupad sa Pilipinas ang distance learning modality. Kung kaya't malaking papel ang ginagampanan ng mga guro upang matugunan ang mga gaps sa proseso ng pagtuturo at pagkatuto ng mga mag-aaral. Alinsunod sa Division Memorandum No. 560 Series 2021 na data gathering on number of learners on range of grades, average grades by learning areas, and report on list and master skills for the first quarter, nagsagawang Burgos National High School Sorrento ng pag-aanalisa sa mga kasanayang dinalinang ng mga mag-aaral sa baitang 10 sa unang markahan. At batay sa isinagawang pagsusuri, ang isa sa kasanayang di gaanong nalinang sa mga mag-aaral ay ang kalaman sa wastong gamit ng pandiwa bilang aksyon, karanasan at pangyayari na nakakuha lamang ng 34.56% sa ilalim ng kategoryang low mastery. Mahalagang malaman at matutunan ng mga mag-aaral ang mga kasanayang pangwika tulad ng angkop na gamit ng pandiwa sa pagpapahayag ng aksyon, karanasan at pangyayari upang maging mas malinaw ang mga kaisipan at higit na maging masining ang paraan ng kanilang pagsasalaysay. Ayon kay Bunagan 2012, ang SIM ay naglalayong muling ituro ang mga konsepto at kasanayang dinalinang. Ito ay isang material na ibinibigay sa mga mag-aaral upang matulungan silang malinang ang mga kasanayang nakabatay sa kakayahan na hindi nila na-develop sa panahon ng regular na pagtuturo sa silid-aralan. Dahil dito, ang mananaliksik ay bumuo ng SIM upang matugunan ang pangangailangan ng mga mag-aaral na matutuhan ang kasanayan sa angkop na paggamit ng pandiwa bilang aksyon, karanasan at pangyayari. Ang mga sumusunod ang mga suliraning tinangkang sagutin ng pag-aaral na ito. Una, ano ang performance sa mga mag-aaral sa pauna at pangwakas na pagtataya? Ikalawa, mayroong bang makabuluhang pagkakaiba sa pagitan ng performance ng mga mag-aaral sa pre-test at post-test? Ikatlo, ano ang level ng pagtanggap ng mga mag-aaral sa strategic intervention material batay sa mga sumusunod? Nilalaman, mga gawain, disenyo, at wikang ginamit. At ang ikaapat, ano-ano ang mga suhestyon at rekomendasyon ng mga mag-aaral batay sa kanilang pagtanggap sa strategic intervention material. Gumamit ang mananaliksik ng kwalitatibo at kwantitatibong disenyo ng pananaliksik. Ang mga kalahok sa pag-aaral na ito ay ang mga mag-aaral sa baitang 10 na kabilang sa online distance learning modality mula sa Burgos National High School, PNHS Sorrento Extension, Southville HC National High School at Tagumpay National High School ng Distrito ng Rodriguez. Ang apat na paaralang ito ang naging lugar ng pananaliksik sapagkat ito ang nagpaunlak sa mananaliksik na magamit ang binuong SIM sa kanilang ODL class. Dahil sa kasalukuyang kalagayan ng pagtuturo, gumamit ang mananaliksik ng non-probability convenience sampling technique. Pinili ng mananaliksik ang mga kalahok batay lamang sa kalapitan at hindi isinalang-alang kung kinakatawan nila ang buong populasyon o hindi. Ang mananaliksik ay humingi ng pahintulot sa mga punong guro at mga guro sa Filipino, mga magulang at mga mag-aaral na naging bahagi sa pag-aaral na ito. Sa pagsasagawa ng pag-aaral na ito, gumamit ang mananaliksik ng 3 instrumento sa pananaliksik: ang binuong strategic intervention material, resulta ng pauna at pangwakas na pagtataya at survey questionaryo. Ang na-develop na SIM, pauna at pangwakas na pagtataya at survey questionaryo ay ipinabalidate ng mananaliksik sa mga daluguro sa Filipino mula sa General T. De Leon National High School, ulong guro at 5 mga guro sa Filipino ng Burgos National High School, Sorrento.
A pleasant morning to everyone. I am Christine Carla P. Mahagway from Vicente Madrigal Integrated School, Rizal Province. My research title is Balik-Aral Students, the Silver Lining of Pandemic to Education. Only age was robbed to students who stopped studying by reasons of their personal decisions and other circumstances outside of their control, but their right to continue their education and graduate to the course of their desire remains the same. The coming of COVID-19 undeniably affects the educational sector heavily. Schools were closed, students were asked to stay at home, and instructions were done through remote learning. This study will look at the silver lining in education, which this pandemic brought to the lives of those students who were given the chance to go back to school despite their age and responsibilities, particularly the Balik-Aral students of Vicente Madrigal Integrated School, Senior High School Department. This study sought answer to the following research questions. Number 1, what is the profile of the respondents in terms of age, sex, civil status, and occupation? Number 2, what are the motivations of the respondents in returning to school? Number 3, how the pandemic brought opportunity to the respondents in returning to school? And 4, what possible program can be proposed to help the returning students continue schooling when face-to-face setup is resumed? The study utilized the purposive sampling method. 22 respondents participated in the study from grade 11 and 12 students of Humanities and Social Sciences strand who obtained a 1-year and above gap before enrolling in senior high school, and junior ALS graduates from Vicente Madrigal Integrated School during school year 2021-2022. For the data collection, an interview, both physical and online platforms, whatever convenient to the respondents, were used. For the plan for data analysis, the study employed the triangulation or mixed method of research to strengthen its discourse. The quantitative aspect focused on the profile of the respondents using the frequency distribution and percentage. The qualitative method was utilized in identifying the motivations of the respondents to return to school, the opportunity brought by the pandemic for their education, and the program that would best fit their situations. For research question number 1,
The results are as follows. Majority of the respondents were distributed in 22 to 56 years age bracket and female. Majority of them are single and working while studying. Respondents' occupation, 14 or 63.64% are employed, and 8 or 36.36% are full-time students. Among are the occupation of the respondents: volunteer development assistant teacher, housemaid or babysitter, call center agent, barangay counselor, sewer, construction worker, waiter, entrepreneur, and the rest are full-time students. For research question number 2, the study revealed 4 major themes as their motivations in returning to school. First was personal goal of earning diploma. Second was greater job opportunity. Third was help the family improve the status of life. And fourth was role modeling. For research question number 3, out of the responses, the study revealed the following major themes for the opportunity brought by the pandemic. First, working while studying. Second, studying while taking care of children. And third, privilege to study at home. For research question number 4, the central idea from the responses of the students focused mainly on continuing the remote learning, such as blended, modular, and online distance learning, so they can finish their studies while they continue attending their other responsibilities.
Good day! Today, we will be presenting to you our action research entitled Improving Students' Academic Performance in Mathematics 8 Using the Philippinized Competency-Based Instruction or the PhilCBI approach. Our action research is an initiative to address the gap of the learners in terms of teaching-learning process that widens during the time of pandemic. Some reasons that this action research was conducted is that because 1. The students in distance learning experience difficulty in understanding math instructional materials written in English. 2. The medium of instruction of math self-learning modules challenged learners in MDL. And then lastly, the study verified the effectiveness of the Philippinized competency-based instruction in improving the math performance of students under MDL. The PhilCBI approach was utilized in formulating and creating self-learning material that are directed based on the most essential learning competencies given by the Department of Education. The innovation used to these learning activity sheets is that it provides additional instruction using the learner's mother tongue, on this case, Tagalog. These are the research questions that the action research tried to answer. 1. What is the level of mathematics performance of the learners before and after the experiment? Number 2. Is there a significant improvement in the mathematics performance of learners who utilize the self-learning module written in English? 3. Is there a significant improvement in the mathematics performance of learners who utilize the PhilCBI instructional material? Number 4. Is there a significant difference between the mathematics performance of learners who utilize the PhilCBI instructional material and learners who utilize the self-learning module written in English?
Results. Table 2 shows the math performance of control and experimental group. The control group is the group who utilized the learning material written in English, while the experimental group is the group who utilized the PhilCBI. As you can see on the second row, the mean pretest score of the two groups are statistically the same at 7.67. Meanwhile, the two groups differ in terms of mean post-test scores. 14.08 for the control group and 17.83 for the experimental group. Table 3 presents the comparison between the pretest and post-test performance of the control group. You can see on the second column that the mean pretest score of the control group is 7.67, while you can see on the third column that the mean post-test score of the control group is 14.08. The computed p-value is less than 0.05, which indicate that there is a significant difference between the mean pre-test score and mean post-test score of the control group. This indicates that there is a significant improvement on the performance of the control group after using the material written in English. Presented in Table 4 is the comparison between the pre-test and post-test performance of the experimental group. You can see on the second column that the mean pre-test score of the experimental group is 7.67, while the mean post-test score is 17.83. Based on the computed p-value, there is a significant difference between the mean pretest and mean post-test score of the experimental group. This indicates that there is a significant improvement on the performance of the experimental group after using the VCBER material. Using independent t-tests, the performance of the two groups were compared. As you can see on the second row, the computed p-value for pretest is greater than 0.05. This indicates that the two groups do not differ in terms of pretest. This result is ideal because we are trying to establish that prior to the study, the two groups are similar. Meanwhile, you can see on the third row that the computed p-value for post-test is less than 0.05. This indicates that the two groups differ in terms of performance. This indicates that the VCBER is more effective as compared to the material written in English. These are the recommendations of the study. Number 1, other grade levels can utilize this approach to provide additional instructional support to learners under MDL. Number 2, conduct a similar study in other subject areas that use English as a medium of instruction. Number 3, examine the perception of learners on the use of the Filipino language as the medium of instruction. Number 4, develop and modify the VCBER instructional material structured to the prescribed format of the Department of Education. Number 5, the VCBER approach can be of use for learners and teachers who will participate in curricular and extracurricular competitions outside the school. Thank you for listening.
School virtual extracurricular activities, coping strategy against stress and anxiety among senior high school students in VMIS. A pleasant morning, everyone. I am Rizal Villamar from SDO Rizal. Different challenges to students, educators, and parents during the last 2 years of pandemic cause anxiety and stress. Social distancing, no physical interaction, and even isolation made the students feel suffocated, which led to anxiety attacks. As a subject teacher, a class advisor, I have observed that most of the time I am a listener and a reader of what the students feel during the pandemic, and that motivated me to conduct the study. The senior high school students from Vicente Madrigal Integrated School during the second semester of school year 2021-2022 are the respondents of this study, utilizing the convenient sampling through Facebook Messenger. This is a descriptive research with questionnaire as the main instrument and a short interview. The respondents voluntarily participated in this study with parent consent. What is the profile of the respondents in terms of grade level, strand, and sex? Using frequency and percentage distributions, I have this result. There are more than 50% of female respondents coming from the grade 11 and June strand. What are the common causes of stress and anxiety to respondents' life as a student? Using frequency and percentage distribution, I have found out that 72 is the highest frequency pertaining to school performance tasks and family problems as the second one. What are the effects of stress observed or experienced by the respondents on behavior, emotion, mental health, and social interaction? Using frequency and percentage distributions, the stress effects on emotion, we have 60 as the highest responses pertaining to fear of something. On mental health, we have being absent-minded or short-term retention gains the highest frequency of 58. Regarding the stress effects on behavior, the highest frequency is 63, referring to trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. Moreover, on the stress effects on social interaction, the highest is 48 responses, referring to conflict in sharing ideas. How do joining school virtual extracurricular activities help the respondents lessen the feeling of anxiety and academic stress during pandemic? Based on the results, joining school virtual extracurricular activities allow the students to share ideas and experiences with the other students, as well as guiding them to be oriented and focused. Moreover, joining school virtual extracurricular activities motivate them to learn and enjoy learning, and these activities boost self-confidence. With the last question on the personal ways or the respondent strategies to cope up stress and anxiety, and using frequency and percentage distribution, the respondents says that different ways on coping up stress and anxiety includes eating, sleeping, talking to someone, and sports or having exercise. Based on the result, I have concluded that participation in some extracurricular activities provided by the school help them lessen the feeling of anxiety and academic stress during this pandemic. I therefore recommended that having these extracurricular activities as action based on thinking outside the box, which help the students develop their full potentials, not only conceptually but applications as lifelong learning. Thus, joining extracurricular activities may be used as a coping mechanism of the students to regain the confidence lost. With regards on the proposed project, I have proposed a green school environment start at home, and this aims to engage grade 12 senior high school students to good habit of taking care of the environment. Again, a pleasant morning everyone. I am Liza A. Villamar from SDO Rizal.
Scenario-based learning using Filipino occasions in teaching work immersion of selected culinary students amidst pandemic in Taytay Senior High School. The impact of COVID pandemic was felt by everyone, business sector, education, the employed and unemployed, and especially the students. It brought difference in what we are used to normal. With all the restrictions of health protocol, this limits the opportunities for our students to experience being part of actual work scenarios, especially learners with special educational needs, or what we call LSEN. But this should not be. Thus, the scenario-based learning using Filipino occasions in teaching work immersion of selected culinary students amidst pandemic in Taytay Senior High School came into the picture. This aims to cater the needs of all the students in honing their skills in their work immersion class, even in the school. Learning by doing by John Dewey was fully applied since the supposedly on-site experience was brought into the classroom through scenario-based learning using Filipino occasions. We Filipinos by culture love to celebrate different occasions like weddings, birthdays, and anniversaries to mention a few. The teacher used these culture-based occasions to bank and align them with the students' skills and at the same time meet the learning competencies expected of them. The parents and guardians serve a vital role in guiding the students as they use their learning in their everyday life. SBL can be used both in formal and informal settings, benefiting learners with guided exploration, safe practice zone to gain competency and mastery. Bring the different to the difference. This study applied the mixed method research design, the descriptive survey, and the phenomenological analysis of the data gathered from the survey and interview. Qualitatively, the students voice out in the comment sections of the survey questionnaire that scenario-based learning is helpful to motivate and capacitate students in making decisions, working with others, and applying skills.
Ano po sa tingin ninyo ang naging epekto nito kay Rachel? Actually, ito ba malaking epekto sa kanya? Kasi likely po yung quiet siya, parang wala lang, sa kung ano lang meron niya. Simula nung lalo na po nung nakapag-experience siya sa school, so pagdating dito, parang ang laki ng ano niya, tiwala sa sarili. Sobrang proud siya na parang gusto niya laging may ginagawa siya na yung ina-apply niya yung natutunan doon. Kaya natutuwa din yung mami niya, daddy niya, kasi nakikita nila may pagbabago at marami siya talagang gustong gawin.
Yes, go ahead, Rachel.
Ayan. Namin niyo po niya kasi gusto niya talagang sabihin.
Yes po, kaya po na pong tumulong para sa maghahanda sa wedding anniversary ng aming magulang. At maraming salamat. Maraming salamat sa aking magugulo at
Lalo na, masahin mo ka umiyak, para maintindihan nila.
Lalong-lalo na kay Ma'am Amy Posadas yung walang kasawang pag-aalala, pasyensya at paggabay sa amin na naging lubos masaya at makakabuluhan ang aking karanasan sa recommendation.
This study posited that scenario-based learning creates an opportunity for learners to be more active and improve their real-life skills during their learning processes in terms of affective and psychomotor students' learning. Moreover, this caters to all types of students, including learners with special educational needs or ELSEN, considering that some ELSEN students cannot be adapted to the actual workplace. Bringing the simulated workplace to them matters. In addition, whatever circumstance may arise, creating restrictions on resources, scenario-based learning will be a good source of alternative in conducting work immersion.
Good day, fellow teachers and researchers. I would like to present to you our action research entitled Open to All Online Teaching Day, OOTD, an intervention program in teaching research in senior high school, its efficacy. The researchers are Mrs. Maria Teresa T. Cruz, Mr. Mark Anthony Z. Umali, and of course yours truly, Mrs. Jonaline M. Obordo, teachers from Taytay Senior High School. Research subject is one of the many subjects that even graduate students are anxious because of its difficulty and complexity. Much more for our senior high school students. For them, it is their first time that they will engage in this kind of academic requirements. Due to its difficulty, even some of our teachers are hesitant to teach this subject due to it's not their specialization or no experience yet. Our goal in this action research and this intervention program entitled OOTD is to address the problem on lack of limited expert teachers in teaching research subject and other subjects as well. Also, with this, we capitalize and maximize the potential of each team members to create a great learning experience for students regardless of number. With this, we follow this theoretical conceptualization in designing the OOTD program. We follow the Moore transactional distance theory or TDT. That is very evident in our figure number 2, the OOTD model that comprises content, teaching learning materials, support team, and delivery of learning in OOTD. And we come up with an output that since it is a seminar type intervention program, we come up with OOTD recorded videos that can be used as instructional materials anytime, anywhere for everyone. For our research questions that we sought to answer the following. Number 1, what is the profile of the respondents in terms of their gender and strength? What is the perceived acceptability level of OOTD in terms of program management and platform delivery? What is the level of effects of OOTD to students' learning in terms of program and lecturers, speakers? Is there a significant difference of the effectiveness of OOTD in reference to the profile of our students? And for our research methodology, we followed the qualitative and the quantitative method. And for the data gathering, we gathered the data through an interview and researcher-made survey questions anchored on our theoretical framework that served as our lens for this study. Going down to our results and findings for table number 1 that is very rich in data seen on the distribution of the profile of the respondents in terms of gender and age. And for the table number 2 that represents the perceived acceptability level of OOTD in terms of the program management and platform delivery. And for table number 3 that represents the level of effects of OOTD to students' learning in terms of program and speakers. Summarizing all the data, we have the final average of 3.73, where amazingly all students interpreted as highly evident from the program management, lecturers to delivery, and even the effects are very positive to our learners and lecturers. And for table number 4, significant difference of effectiveness of OOTD in reference to the profile of the students, where we got the data from 157 senior high school students quantitatively showed that the program implementation and efficacy of the learners have a mean of 3.7 out of scale of 4, which interpreted as extremely helpful to the students' learning. The findings were strengthened through an ANOVA, wherein the p-value is higher than the critical value of 0.05, interpreted as no significant difference between the efficacy of the OOTD and students' profile.
Card slip in a click. Development, validation, and acceptability of students' record portal. In today's fast-paced and advancement of technology, schools are adopting the student information system in handling students' various data such as admission, class schedules, subject enrolled by the student, overall student performance, and personal information about the student can be accessible and can track data within a click. Action research questions. Project SRP was validated through these research questions. 1. What is the profile of the participants? 2. What is the performance level of the project SRP? 3. What is the acceptability level of the project SRP? Theoretical framework. Project SRP working model. Project SRP working map. Online, real-time. Proposed innovation, intervention, and strategy. Project SRP program development. Here is the student's record portal. Sample feature of SRP. Features of the project SRP. 1. Real-time encoding of grades. 2. Automated consolidation of grades. 3. Card slip. 4. Students ranking. 5. SF9 or card. 6. SF10. 7. Individual attendance. 8. Easy monitoring of students lagging behind or students at risk for dropping. Project SRP is powered by Google Sheets and Google Drive. This study described the acceptability and experience of the teachers through validated research survey questionnaires anchored in the unified theory of acceptance and use of technology and technology acceptances model. Functionality tests were conducted by the teachers, after which they will rate the functionality. 1. If it is working properly. 2. If it is working in no time or with less time. 3. If the program accurately provides the needed output. And 4. If it delivers the correct output using the rating scale in the Google form. Table 1 shows reliability result of the survey questionnaire or project SRP. Data gathering methods. 1. Trial test table. Run test. is used to calculate the accuracy rate of the program when it is used by the participants. The researchers will conduct a series of trials until it reaches the accuracy level of 99.5% or more. 2. Acceptability instrument. The acceptability instrument used in this study is validated using SPSS version 24 with the Cronbach's alpha as per table below, and this instrument was already published by Victor and Barella in 2019. Below is the reliability test of the instrument. What is the profile of the participants? Table 2 shows the performance level project of SRP. Table 3 shows the acceptability level of the project SRP. In Trial 1, the mean is 3.75. In Trial 2, the mean is 3.77. There is an improvement and it is categorized as highly acceptable. Qualitatively, here are the significant feedbacks of the participants. As per the functionality result of the study did not yet reach the 100% efficiency and accuracy rating, hence, factors that cause the imperfection will be addressed by the developer. For this reason, another pilot testing after the corrective measures are done is recommended before the program launching. Also, the continuous unit testing and integration tests are also recommended to reach its perfection. Lastly, factors such as internet connection and laptop specification of the participants are recommended in the next version of validation. An acceptability form to find out if these factors are moderating variables that affect the functionality of the program.
Good day. We are indeed very lucky and proud to present to you our research paper entitled Enhancing Classroom Management Skills of New Teachers Through Hybrid Training. I am Marilyn M. Rivera, your presenter, with my fellow researchers James Carlo L. Arbil and Mariel Ann F. Pligaria. Classroom management is a crucial part of the teaching-learning process in schools. It also develops pupil potential and improves output in terms of knowledge, skills, and behavior. Also, the perspective of teachers views classroom management as essential skills on creating an effective learning environment. Furthermore, teachers' professional practices that center on classroom management affects pupil motivation for learning and academic achievement. Although classroom management is a central aspect in controlling pupils' difficult behaviors and class disruptions in the teaching-learning process, new teachers lack proper knowledge on this major aspect in education. Therefore, it is essential to understand how to effectively develop classroom management skills of new teachers. For that reason, training focusing on classroom management should be given priority, especially for new teachers who lack face-to-face class experience because of the shift to distance learning modalities. Based on the Basic Education Information System, the Human Elementary School has teachers who were hired a few months before and during the COVID-19 pandemic. These health issues resulted to the use of distance learning as the primary type of modality in delivering basic education services to the pupils, thus hindering the school new teachers to gain experience in handling face-to-face class. These situations and professional needs led us to this innovation, intervention, and strategy. As mandated in DepEd Order Number 35, Series 2016, and as one of the key areas of the Learning Recovery and Continuity Plan, and also in DepEd Order Number 34, Series 2022, which says that professional development of teachers are highly encouraged. DepEd Order Number 34, Series 2022, also emphasized that school hours shall solely be dedicated to learners' academic activities, which support policies that promote no disruption of classes, hence discouraging the withdrawal of teachers from classes to attend training with the stated basis. The researchers developed a hybrid and self-paced approach in training new teachers on the topic of classroom management. This innovation, intervention, and strategy focused on three facets of effective classroom management, which include active supervision, managing momentum, and establishing rules and routines. Action research questions. 1. What are the test scores of teachers before the hybrid training on classroom management in terms of the facets of classroom management? What are the test scores of teachers after the hybrid training on classroom management in terms of the stated facets of classroom management? Is there a statistical improvement in the test scores of teachers after the hybrid training? And number four, based on the findings of the study, what instructional framework may be proposed to sustain hybrid training on classroom management for teachers? For the action research method, the participants of this study were the 21 new teachers with 0 to 3 experience at public school teaching. One group pretest process design is the type of experimental research utilized for this study to determine the effect of the hybrid training on the knowledge of the new teachers regarding classroom management. Post-test was analyzed with the use of paired sample t-tests. For the discussion of the results, Table 1 shows the scores of the teachers before the hybrid training, with 6.62, 6.24, and 6.05 or total mean score of 6.30 or 60. Table 2 shows 9.05 or 9.5%, while Table 3 presents p-value of 0.000 in each facet, which means that the teachers improve their knowledge about classroom management after the hybrid program. For our recommendation, we propose this instructional framework for hybrid training on classroom management. With this strategy, teachers can access the training at their own pace using multimedia materials such as videos and handouts. Teachers can include the training in their own schedule wherever it works them best. Thank you, and let me end my presentation with this quotation. Good classroom management is the art of dealing with problems positively and looking for solutions together so that everyone is involved and willing to find a remedy. Again, thank you.
Good day. This is Google Jamboard, an aid in teaching mathematics online, and I am Nelson D. Manuel from Rizal Elementary School, Titles of Office, Division of Rizal. Introduction and Rationale. Most learners consider mathematics as the hardest subject, while teachers who teach the subject find it easy to teach but difficult to learn. This is a universal truth. Thus, the fight against indolence is every teacher's calling. Teachers help every learner to acquire the required competencies without dragging them into comparison, shame, or failure. In the current public health crisis, we are all working quickly to move our classes out of the classroom. Teaching and learning mathematics become tougher and more challenging. Consequently, teaching and learning math online. Teaching and learning mathematics online don't end in merely introduction and showing the process. They require a collaborative and real-time learning experience. With the current health situation that the world is facing right now, the notion that math is the hardest subject won't be erased to all learners. However, the teacher-researcher believes that in the advent of Google Jamboard in teaching math online, the uncertainties, anxieties, and fear of learning mathematical concepts among blended distance learning pupils will be lessened if not erased. This action research was conducted to determine the efficacy of Google Jamboard as an aid in teaching mathematics online to my grade 5 learners. Specifically, it sought to answer the following. 1. What is the level of performance of the two groups of respondents as revealed by the pre-test and the post-test? 2. Is there a significant difference of the level of performance of the two groups of respondents as revealed in the pre-test and post-test? 3. What is the level of performance of the experimental group in the post-test? And lastly, is there a significant difference of the performance of the controlled and experimental groups as revealed in the post-test? Intervention or innovation. To raise the learner's academic performance in mathematics, the grade 5 blended distance learning or the BDL teachers utilize Google Jamboard in facilitating lessons that require visualization and computation. This is embedded to hashtag inspired Muson ES project Rise Up. Tagged by BenQ.com as a cloud-based digital whiteboard centered on enabling local and remote teams to share ideas effectively. Jamboard is part of the G Suite's digital whiteboard that offers a rich collaborative experience for teams and classrooms. It enables users to create a jam, edit it from their device, and share it with others. Everybody can collaborate on a jam anytime, anywhere. For businesses and schools that use Jamboard hardware, you can use your phone or your laptop to open a jam on a nearby board. Perhaps Google Jamboard is an effective way that math teachers vexation. Methodology. Diffraction research made use of the descriptive and experimental method of research utilizing pretest and post-test. It made use of controlled and experimental group, which is composed of 45 learners each. Both learners are part of the blended distance learning of which utilizes the online and modular mode of learning. These two groups of learners undergone pretest. This pretest was a teacher-made 15-item test. The controlled group undergone instructions using videos and PowerPoint presentations. On the other hand, the experimental group made undergone instructions with the aid of Google Jamboard. Instructions were made in 2 weeks. Both groups undergone pause test, which is also a 15-item teacher-made test.
Good day, everyone. This research endeavor is entitled Basic Wiring Installation, a Prototype Learning Equipment for TVLEIN Students, or Project Liwanag Wave 3. And here are the proponents: Mr. Richter C. Robles, Mr. Ronald D. Diaz, and yours truly, Mrs. Nova H. Ariston. The K-12 program has been implemented by the Department of Education, has already produced 4 batches of senior high school since 2016. However, many parents and even students are still unsure how the senior high system works and why it has been included in the revised educational system. Under Republic Act No. 10533, or the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, students are now required to complete kindergarten, grades 1 to 6 or elementary school, grades 7 to 10 or junior high school, and grades 11 to 12 or senior high school. All of this must be completed in 13 years before students can receive high school diploma. To ensure that the K-12 curriculum goals will be achieved as part of the educational institutions, the ultimate goal of vocational technical education training is for the acquisition of knowledge, attitude, and practical skills for sustainable development. Moreover, Technical Vocational Livelihood or TVL as a part of K-12 curriculum aims to prepare the students after graduation with the opportunity to be part of workforce by armed with employment-ready skills. The Program of Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA were adapted in order to earn national certificate that can be used as students' credentials in applying for a job and be included in the working world. As mandated by law, TESDA plays as the regulator of technical and vocational education training institution under RA 7796 mandates TESDA board to primarily be responsible for formulating and continuing coordinated and fully integrated technical and education and skills development policies, plans, and programs. As stated by Condesa in 2019, students who undergo training in electrical installation, understanding in diverse skills in the trades as expected to possess skills for design, development, production, excellence in installation of electrical management, and utilization of trending machines and equipment, maintain nerve electrical or electronic devices and circuits. In line with this, the researchers focus on the school's goal that the acquisition of skills, especially in electrical installation and maintenance trades, would undoubtedly lead to job creation and self-reliance as lack of employment is an evidence of unsaleable skills possessed by the technical college graduates. This study was conducted and determined the electrical installation and maintenance skills of the students relevant to test the standards where learning is the process of acquisition of practical and theoretical knowledge, which is education. This action research utilized the mixed method of research, in which the researcher combines the elements of qualitative and quantitative approaches, which purposefully utilized 60 TVLEIM students who used to develop three basic wiring installation learning equipment such as basic wiring installation, fire detection and alarm system or FDAS, and closed-circuit television or CCTV, and was determined according to pre-test and post-test results.
Good day, this is Reynaldo Sisacuan, and today I'm going to present our entry of research paper for the 2022 Virtual Conference of Basic Education Researchers. This study is entitled Sink or Swim, Deciding Factor of Student to Quit or to Continue Schooling. The authors are Reynaldo Sisacuan, Maria Victoria Simagayon, and Eileen I. Carbonell. The content of this study includes the rationale, the theoretical framework, the research questions, the research methodology, the results, and the conclusion. For the rationale of the study, the pandemic challenged the education system across the world and forced educators to shift to an online mode of teaching. In the Philippines, amidst the pandemic, students are not capable of engaging in online learning in terms of availability of resources, environment, and level of the knowledge to basic technical skills. The major factor that affects the success of executing online learning is related to financial challenge being encountered by the family brought about by the pandemic. Theoretical framework of the study. The challenges encountered by the students during the pandemic create adverse reaction and action such as stop schooling, but to many they want to continue. Using the resilience donut framework, the I have, I am, and I can of students or a person against factors that affects his or her decision in continuing and quitting schooling. This study surfaces the deciding factors of students why they want to quit or continue schooling amidst pandemic. Research questions. This study surfaces the reasons that make the students survive or quit schooling in an online learning modality. To answer the research question, what makes the students survive or quit schooling in an online modality, the study used systematic inductive methods in extracting the factors and the reasons for the respondents' decisions. The research methodology. This study used the root cause analysis process, and the process includes the following steps. Number 1, realize the problem. Number 2, gather data. Number 3, determine possible causal factors. Number 4, identify the root cause. And lastly, recommend and implement solutions. With 317 senior high school students, data were gathered through an online survey questionnaire using Google Forms. Based from the information and data gathered from the student respondents, the following results are found out to be the common reasons why the students quit or likely to quit schooling. For family and home environment related root cause, the students are quitting because they have a lot of household chores to do and they don't have permanent learning area. For learning environment root cause, there are a number of required learning tasks to do at home. For financial and economic related root cause, many students do not have budget for internet data. And for technology related root cause, many students have low internet connectivity and can afford gadget good for online classes. On the other hand, there were students who have positive responses facing the challenges of online learning modality. The I am mindset, I have to, and I can do it attitude are the common deciding factors among these students not to quit schooling. And lastly, the conclusion of the study. The findings reflected the reasons and factors that led to the learner's choice and decision about their remote learning, of which this data can be utilized as baseline data for planning programs, interventions, and activities that will help lessen the learner's difficulty experiences in distance learning and help them build better their sense of resilience to successfully adapt to challenges, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Good day, everyone. I am Sammy Boy B. Guzman from STO Rizal. The title of my research is Correlational Study Among Parents' Demographic Profile, Level of Parental Involvement, and Pupils' Academic Performance in the Modular Distance Learning of Casiglahan Village Elementary School. On the 12th day of March 2020, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak of coronavirus disease, COVID-19. The pandemic resulted to a shift from face-to-face learning to distance learning. In May 2020, the Department of Education discovered that the most common choice among the Filipino families is modular distance learning. Schools created learning continuity plan that seeks to ensure the students' learning progresses even amidst the pandemic. DepEd provided the MELCs, or most essential learning competencies, to address the congested curriculum, conducted in-service training to address the instructional competence of teachers in distance learning delivery. However, parents' preparedness and involvement are neglected and unexplored. That is the research gap of this study. There is a limited parental program. That's why, on November 2020, a basic research was conceptualized. That is the rationalization of this research. Research methodology. This study utilized a descriptive correlational research design. Primarily, it aimed at describing two or more variables and discovering the relationships that occur between or among them. A stratified random sampling technique was used to select the sample size of 377 parent respondents from the population of 6,380. To collect the data, the researcher used the survey data collection through researcher-made instrument and adopted the research instrument. The data were analyzed using the PSPP GNU software, both for descriptive and inferential statistics. Results and discussions. To answer the statement of the problem number 1, parents' demographic profile, out of 377 respondents, majority of them were composed of female, in the age group of 31 to 35 years old, living with their partner, high school graduates, not working, under the bracket of 5,000 household monthly income, and more than one student that are studying. To answer the statement of the problem number 2, parental involvement, the respondents rated themselves as much involved in home discussion, much involved in home supervision, much involved in school communication, and involved in school participation. Overall, the level of parental involvement is much involved. To answer the statement of the problem number 3, pupils' academic performance. 95 and above, 7 students. 90 to 94, 40 students. 85 to 89, 98 students, 80 to 84, 202 students, 79 and below, 30 students, total of 377. To answer the statement of the problem number 4, is there a significant relationship between the parent's demographic profile and pupils' academic performance? Among all those profile of the parents, the results indicates that parents' number of household members that are studying is correlated with pupils' academic performance, which means that the change in the number of household members that are studying do significantly correlate with the academic performance of the pupils. To answer the statement of the problem number 5, is there a significant relationship between the parental involvement and pupils' academic performance? Results revealed that 8 of the indicators of parental involvement are correlated with pupils' academic performance. Indicators 2, 3, 6, and 7 of home discussion, indicator 10 of home supervision, none in the school communication, indicators 21, 22, and 23 of school participation. These 8 indicators are correlated with pupils' academic performance. It means that a change of level of parental involvement in these indicators do significantly correlate with the increase or decrease of academic performance of the pupils. Recommendations. Number 1, schools should conduct activities that directly and indirectly promote parental involvement. Schools should continuously conduct monitoring and evaluation regarding the parental involvement. Schools should consider the triangulation of data collection, not only from parents. Schools should consider the other factors in improving the pupil's academic performance. Parental involvement is just one of the factors. Future researchers should explain further the quantitative findings about the significant correlation of parents' number of household members that are studying with pupils' academic performance. Future researchers should consider the regression formula to further analyze the correlation between parental involvement and pupils' academic performance. In terms of contribution and utilization, the end goal of this research is the birth of Project Agapay, which stands for Aral na May Gabay Habang Nasa Pamamahay. That's all. Thank you for listening.